Hey everyone, welcome back to The Explainer. So today, we're jumping right into a really special installment of our Parshat and relationship series with Mazal Klein. We're going to take some beautiful ancient wisdom from the weekly Torah portion, the Parashat Shavua, and we're going to apply it directly to a super modern, very real struggle that, let's be honest, way too many of us know entirely too well. We're talking about the whole journey of finding a partner, the hurdles we face along the way, and the exact mindset you actually need to build a lasting, meaningful connection. So let's just start off by validating how totally exhausting modern dating can be, right? You go on a series of unsuccessful dates, those connections that just kind of fizzle out and never ripen, and this painful, super familiar doubt almost inevitably creeps in. You start asking yourself, is something missing in me? Or am I just asking for way too much? We sit there and wonder if there's some fundamental flaw in us, or if we're just demanding the impossible. It's a really vulnerable and, honestly, discouraging place to be. But, and here's the turning point, the insights from Mazal Klein suggest that this exact feeling of lack, this exact moment where you're questioning everything, is actually the birthplace of a pretty profound realization.
The absolute crucial point here is this. Long before we even begin searching outward for a partner, we really have to examine the mindset and the inner space we're bringing to the table. Like, are we entering the dating scene from a place of desperation, ego, or a place of genuine openness? You know, it's not just about learning how to date. It's about understanding from what place in our soul we're actually initiating that contact. Because the energy, the internal landscape we bring into a new relationship, that is literally what's going to dictate how that relationship grows.
Okay, moving on to part one, the secret of the desert. Finding openness in emptiness. To really wrap our heads around this, we're going to look at a profound spiritual metaphor that completely shifts how we view feeling empty. There's this beautiful line from the Torah. God spoke to Moses in the Sinai desert. Notice how divine speech, which is like the ultimate form of connection and revelation, begins specifically in the desert. Now, why the desert? Well, because the desert is a simple, empty space. It's not cluttered, it isn't full of its own noise and architecture. It creates this beautiful sense of wonder and revelation precisely because it's barren. It has the capacity to receive. And when we bring that into the context of relationships, this teaches us something absolutely vital about our own internal state. And this brilliantly illustrates two totally distinct mindsets about our own personal lack. On one hand, we can fall into the common trap of viewing our emptiness or our need for a partner as this depressing flaw, like it somehow proves we just aren't good enough. But on the other hand, we can choose to view that exact same emptiness as an invitation. It's the very human openness that is strictly required to truly connect with someone else. Think about it. If you're completely full of yourself, totally self-sufficient and closed off, there's literally no room for another person to enter your life. Your lack isn't a failure at all. It's the space where your partner will eventually fit. So, what does it actually mean to be a desert in your dating life? Basically, it means cultivating a state of being open, being humble, and recognizing our shared human need to fill and be filled. It's only when we're willing to be this desert that we can actually receive love. We've got to acknowledge that everyone has missing pieces. Coming into a relationship and being able to say, hey, I have room for you, I have a need for you, is not a weakness. No way. It is the ultimate expression of readiness for a mature relationship. All right, part two, receiving versus selfishness and the trap of taking. Okay, so we need to be a desert, yes, but there's a really fine line between open vulnerability and just, using someone else to fill your own void. Selfishness happens when your main focus is strictly what you can extract from the other person. If you walk into a date constantly asking, what can this person do for me? How are they going to fix my loneliness? How can they serve my needs? Well, that's not a relationship. You're just looking for a provider of emotional goods. Mutuality, on the other hand, is all about giving, receiving, and committing together. Real love simply cannot grow in an environment where everyone is just asking, what's in it for me? So how do we actually build that mutuality? Let's break down the mechanics of a true connection. A healthy connection relies on this really delicate dance. It's based on equality. It's alternating giving and receiving. Because sometimes you're the one who is lacking and needs support, and then sometimes your partner is the one in need, and you acknowledge those mutual needs with total dedication. The absolute core of all this is realizing that you cannot truly give if you don't also know how to humbly receive. It's a continuous reciprocal loop of mutual care. Which brings us to part 3, the next step with Mazal and bringing balance into your relationship.
Now, understanding this balance between giving and receiving definitely takes practice, and honestly, sometimes it takes a little guidance. So you are formally invited to take that next step. Mazal Klein is a dedicated coach for marriage and happy relationships who accompanies couples for closer communication. Whether you're out there searching for the right partner or you're looking to deepen the connection in your current relationship, her guidance is just invaluable. You can reach out to her via cell phone at 052-328-6037. Again, that number is 052-328-6037. I highly recommend reaching out if the concepts in today's explainer resonated with you.
To wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with one final vital question to chew on. Especially before you head out on your next date or have your next deep conversation with your partner, ask yourself this. Are you ready to be a desert to allow love to grow? Are you ready to let go of the ego that demands perfection and instead really embrace the humble, open, beautiful space within you that is simply waiting to connect? Just think about that for a bit. Thank you so much for joining me for this insightful look into Parashat Shavua and relationships, and we'll catch you on the next explainer.